Hey everybody, I've got a really fun video for you today because we are talking about the top 5 lessons learned after owning a Ford Bronco for a year and a half. Now this vehicle has seen just about every kind of terrain, from difficult off-road trails to the snow, to city commuting, to highway use, to road trips. And I kind of want to talk about our final concluding thoughts about what it's been like to own the Ford Bronco. Now this vehicle has been a really fantastic machine to live with. It's offered a lot of fun, a lot of comfort, and a lot of features that have really surprised us over the past year and a half. And we're going to talk about not only the good, but the bad surrounding the Ford Bronco and a year and a half of ownership. Now a little bit of background. We took delivery of this first edition back in June 2021. We partnered with the Ronald McDonald House, and it's a fantastic organization if you're looking to support a good cause. But this Bronco has been awesome. It really has been. First edition MSRP right around $63,000 or so. We did pay sticker for this vehicle, but let's dive right into the list of the top 5 lessons learned, starting with number 5. We're going to pop the hood and talk about the engine. Now the Bronco can be had in 2 configurations, the 2.7 twin turbo and of course the 2.3 liter single turbo out of the Ford Ranger. I have driven both extensively and I'm here to tell you that both are really fantastic engine options. Now this 2.7 twin turbo offers a lot of power and offers a lot of flexibility in terms of not only off-road terrain, but how it performs on the highway. Now it is not an attractive engine. There's just no way around it. Ford did not include any kind of engine cover or beautification cover, if you will, to kind of spruce up the design of the engine when you pop the hood. It's got a lot of mess of wires and tubes, but it has been fantastically reliable over the past year and a half, and it offers a tremendous amount of power. This is the same engine that you'll find in the Ford F-150 EcoBoost, depending on the configuration. And even if you go for the 2.3, I think you're going to find the power to be very, very adequate. Personally, if it was my personal rig, I'd probably just opt for the 2.3, especially optioned with that 7-speed manual transmission. It's a great engine combo. However, if you're looking at the Sasquatch package, which is the 35-inch tall tires, the locking differentials, all the off-road goodies, definitely look into getting that V6. It's a lot more potent, especially at highway passing power with these 35-inch tall tires. This is a heavy vehicle, over 5,000 pounds, so the V6 with the Sasquatch is, I think, kind of the sweet spot in the pairing. If you are looking to get a non-Sasquatch Bronco, if you just want an Outer Banks or whatever it may be on the standard tires, the 4-cylinder automatic manual, that would be my way to go. Perhaps save a little bit of money in fuel. Now, one thing I dislike about the Bronco, one area where I think they could have probably stepped up their performance a little bit, the towing capacity. Now you can see here we do have the tow hitch. We've got both, well actually we only have the 4-pin connector on this Bronco, but regardless, the Ford Bronco does not tow a whole lot. We're looking at a 3,500 pound max rating in the standard Bronco. If you do get the Raptor, that jumps it up to about 5,000 pounds. But to be honest with you, considering the power, the weight, and the handling prowess of this vehicle, I wish that 3,500 pounds was higher. So that is in line with what the Jeep Wrangler can tow. The 4Runner will tow, I think, 5,000 pounds. But I would love to see them push that to 6,000 or even 7,000 pounds with like a max tow group. A lot of folks want to use this as their only vehicle to tow their camper, to tow their boat, and I think that'd be a welcome addition. Now, the Bronco Raptor actually has an additional brace that connects the receiver to the frame rail. Now the standard Bronco has got the exhaust in the way, so it can't accommodate for that. So some people were like, well, just tow more. I'm not going to tow more than what the manufacturer recommends. You can get in a lot of trouble if there's an accident, and it's just not safe to do so. The company's put millions and millions and millions in dollars in research and development into these vehicles to making sure that they're safe under the ratings that they give them. But I would just love to see Ford come out of the factory with like a max tow group, 6,000 or 7,000 pounds. I think it'd be awesome. Awesome. Now the number 4 thing we've learned about the Bronco, strongly recommend the 4-door configuration. The 2-door, there are purists out there, they say, oh, it's not a Bronco unless it has 2 doors. I personally disagree. I think the 4-door is A, going to be much better for resale, and is B, far more usable in many, many situations. Not only if you have a family, but if you're looking to carry friends, if you want to carry long items, the seats do fold down. This is a pretty good rear seat. Still wish they incorporated rear air vents back here for furry friends and the like, but it is a pretty good rear seat. You also get kind of the stadium seating effect where you sit up higher than the front passenger, so you get this really good view of the world out of the back seat. 4-door Broncos can be only had in the hardtop configuration. This is called the mold-in color top, or MIC top. This is actually our second version of this. Our earlier one had some manufacturing issues called the MIC 1.0 that was recalled, and then they gave us this new one that took a bunch of months, but this new top has been perfect. And the design of this is really fantastic. They did such a good job in the overall hard top design. So you've got the front panel, which is removable, the rear panel, which is removable super easily, couple of thumb twists, and then this rear panel, few bolts, that pulls off. Now, over the ownership, we have had a number of different tops we've tested. We've had the soft top configuration through Best Top, which is really great. You get this cool slant back design. And then right now we're running the Sunrider, which has also been really, really good. It's a really durable material, and that allows you to just fling back the front portion super easily. But regardless of which top configuration you go for, strongly recommend the four-door. I just think it's the way to go. I know I'm probably sounding like a non-purist here, and you can hate me in the comments, but I've just learned that especially the on-road driving dynamics and handling of that added wheelbase really improve the comfort and the stability of this vehicle. All right, let's talk about some of the inside stuff. So we'll jump down to number 3. So the number 3 thing I've learned about this Bronco is that compared to its competitors, specifically the Wrangler and to a large extent the 4Runner, this vehicle is extremely comfortable. Now, this first edition does have these premium seating surfaces here in this navy pure blue, but the seats are so much better than any trim of the Wrangler. And I've driven basically every trim of the Wrangler, from the Sport to the Sport S to the 392s even, right, and the Saharas, and regardless of what you get far more support in the Bronco. You also get power seats in the Bronco. We've got power lumbar here on the driver. Passenger side, same thing. Look, we have lumbar support on the passenger side, something that you can't get in the Wrangler as far as I know. Power seats, and then just the amount of room that you get in terms of the shoulder space far exceeds that of the Wrangler. And we'll talk about this when we take it on the road, but the comfort from a long distance travel standpoint far exceeds that of the Jeep Wrangler because of the seats and because of the added shoulder width. So that is fantastic. Now let's talk about number 2. Number 2 thing we've learned with the Ford Bronco is that technology is good. It could probably be a little better in some areas. So this sync system really works fantastically. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto connectivity. Super simple in terms of its layout, and I love that they still have hard controls for volume and tune. That is truly awesome. I think they did a great job there. You got full navigation, connectivity there. We got some cool features in here, zone lighting, that kind of thing. Really good screen. And then this center mounted screen, pretty good. I'd much prefer if you could option the fully digital screen out of the Raptor. Having this partial screen with the speedometer, it's just not really needed, and it's a little clunky to use in my opinion. You do make sense of it after enough time, but it's yeah, it's nice to have that full digital. That gives you some additional adjustability. Speaking of fuel economy, by the way, you can see we've been averaging 18.8, which is phenomenal in my opinion for a vehicle rolling on 35s. It is really, really good. Now, some technology I wish this vehicle had. We do have adaptive cruise, which is great. We do have lane departure system, or lane keeping system is what Ford calls it. So basically, it'll warn you when you're exiting the lane. I would love it if you get this vehicle with lane centering, which is kind of like well, yeah, that's lane centering. It's, have a hand on the wheel, pay attention, but the vehicle will navigate down a highway by itself, or even the Ford semi-autonomous driving system. Why is my Blue Cruise? That's what it's called. It'd be awesome if you could get Blue Cruise in the Bronco like you can on the F-150 now. That'd be a really fantastic feature. So as we move down the list, I think probably the biggest thing that has really impressed me with the Ford Bronco, the driving dynamics. And here, I'll take your camera from you while you put your seatbelt on. This vehicle has excelled in just about every single terrain imaginable right out of the box. And that really is my number one takeaway with the ownership experience surrounding the Ford Bronco. It doesn't matter if you are going down an off-road trail that's a 6, 7, 8 out of 10, or just taking the kids to school, or going on a several thousand-mile road trip as we've done. The comfort levels in the Bronco are just so far above not only the Wrangler, but I also think the 4Runner. The suspension tuning, the way the vehicle handles around expansion joints on turns and highways, that's a great example of a place where the Bronco does super, super well. It's just incredible. And it works in so many environments. The 2.7 has enough power to scoot ahead of traffic if you're at a stoplight. The brakes are good enough to slow you down in an emergency. The tires, it has the stock Goodyear Wrangler. Sorry, not Goodyear Wrangler, quite literally not Goodyear Wrangler, but I think they're called the Territory MTs. These tires are fantastic in all sorts of terrain. They're even pretty good in the snow. I don't think they're 3-peak snow rated, but they handle snow and slush pretty darn well. I just love the way this vehicle handles. It really is fantastic. The fan, this reminds me actually a lot, it turns out. The fan sometimes goes erratic on the automatic climate control. We have seen that a bunch of times for some reason. The Sunrider can be a little bit loud, speeds above 75 miles an hour. The hardtop's a little bit quieter. But just the way that Ford has managed to do a vehicle that can basically do it all is truly amazing. I think, the Wrangler, especially with the Extreme Recon package, is as good off-road, and in certain situations maybe a little better when it comes to extreme articulation, but it is nowhere near as good on-road. The 4Runner is very good on-road, but doesn't excel nearly to the point that a Sasquatch Bronco will off-road. Ford has just dialed this puppy in so many ways, and they have nailed the execution of this vehicle. Sure, there are some minor things I can nitpick, like some of the interior quality is a little Ford EcoSporty, to put it lightly. And then, that's it's hard to find some other stuff that is not great. The hero switches work fantastically well, super quick and easy to activate. They come on brilliantly. 4-wheel drive system is great. I never use the GOAT mode. I just manually select lockers myself. Wireless charger, it's not excellent, but I can't get over what a good job Ford has done in releasing this vehicle. Really only let down by one major thing, and I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. Their dealer network has soured the experience for a lot of Bronco potential owners. We're still seeing heavy markups and huge wait times on a lot of these vehicles. It's a shame that Ford couldn't sell this vehicle directly to the consumer at an MSRP price that they suggest. But overall, if you want a vehicle that can do just about everything, Ford Bronco is really hard to beat. They just knocked it out of the park. Now, we are selling this vehicle very shortly here. It's being sold to buy a new high-performance vehicle. More on that shortly. You definitely want to stay tuned to the TFL Truck YouTube channel, where we're going to have all those announcements and things. But yeah, we're not really sure how we're going to sell it. If you are actually really interested in buying this vehicle, you can send us an email, info@tflcar.com. But otherwise, big kudos to Ford. Mileage-wise, it's never as many miles as I would have liked. I think this vehicle has right around 8,700 miles, which is not a lot for a year and a half, but part of this job is you got to drive a lot of new cars on a daily basis, and it's really hard to put the miles on it that I would have liked. However, as you'd expect, in 8,700 miles, been very reliable. It's a great road tripper, and just love it. They really knocked it out of the park. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Big thank you to Ian behind the camera. We'll see you in the next video.